All right, today we're diving into the pretty high-stakes world of vibe coding. I mean, this is a revolution that is totally changing the game, the very architecture of how software gets made.
Okay, so check out this quote from computer scientist Andrej Karpathy. English is the hottest new programming language. I mean, think about that for a second. That one idea, it just perfectly captures this huge shift that's happening in tech. It's the spark, really, that kicked off a whole new digital gold rush and a full-blown application war.
So you're probably asking, what is vibe coding really? It's not just some buzzword, you know? It's a massive shift in how we create stuff. Let's break down what it means to build, literally at the speed of thought.
You know, at its heart, vibe coding is basically just a conversation. You just describe what you want in plain English, and an AI tool goes off and builds it, tweaks it, even debugs it for you. The result? You can move incredibly fast. But, and this is a big but, that speed comes with a hidden danger. You're tempted to just accept and use code that, if you're being honest, you don't totally understand.
And this new power? Well, it has absolutely blown up the market. It's kind of like the Wild West out there. The competition is just fierce. You've got the huge, established players and these scrappy startups all scrambling to grab a piece of the action. And the amount of money pouring in, it's just staggering.
Okay, so what's really wild here is the scale of this thing. We're talking a projected compound annual growth rate of over 22%. That's not just some small niche trend. That's a massive economic shift. I mean, year over year, the growth is compounding, and this is so disruptive because it's all about one thing: speed. How fast can you iterate? It's completely upending the old way of building software.
So, to get a handle on this war, you got to know the players, right? The battlefield is basically split into 3 different camps. Each one has its own unique playbook for how they're going to win over developers.
All right, first up, you've got your IDE assistants. Think GitHub Copilot. These are basically AI helpers that plug right into the coding software that developers already use every day. They're like a sidekick. Then you've got the next level, AI native IDEs like Cursor. These aren't just plugins. They are brand new editors built from scratch with AI at their very core. And finally, we have what everyone's chasing, the holy grail, autonomous agents. We're talking about things like Devin. These aren't just helpers. The goal is for them to be actual AI software engineers that can handle whole projects by themselves. And just look at the money behind all this. This table really shows the financial firepower we're dealing with. I mean, valuations in the billions, revenue in the hundreds of millions, it's crazy. And you can see the different strategies, right? GitHub Copilot is playing the long game, using its huge user base to get everyone on board. But then you look at companies like Cursor and Replit, they're showing insane revenue growth, which tells you the market is absolutely hungry for these new tools.
Yeah, let's just focus on Cursor for a second. An AI-first code editor. They've blown past $500 million, that's billion with a B, dollars in annual recurring revenue. Let that sink in. It's an absolutely mind-boggling number, and it just proves how much people want these new, powerful platforms.
And it's not just how much money, it's how fast. Cursor hit the $100 million revenue mark in just 12 months. 1 year. That makes it the fastest-growing software company in history. The momentum is just, well, it's completely off the charts.
Okay, but with this crazy gold rush, this obsession with moving at lightning speed, there's a dark side. There's always a catch, right? It turns out faster isn't always better. So what's the real cost of all this speed?
Well, here it is. The number one cost is security. And honestly, this chart is pretty scary. When you actually test them, these AI models are spitting out insecure code for super common, really dangerous vulnerabilities like cross-site scripting more than 85% of the time. And just to be clear, we're not talking about small typos here. These are the kinds of flaws that bad actors use to cause massive data breaches to take over entire systems. The AI just doesn't get the context, so it leaves these giant security holes wide open.
And believe me, the danger goes way beyond just those specific security bugs. This whole high-speed process, it basically creates a minefield for developers. The biggest problem is what's called the comprehension gap. That's when developers start using code they don't really understand. And that one problem leads to a whole bunch of others. Code that's impossible to maintain later on, huge legal risks if the AI accidentally steals copyrighted code, and even failing to meet compliance rules because, hey, the AI has no idea what the law is.
So, with all these dangers, what's the solution? How do you tame this wild west of code?
Well, right now, the whole industry is in a race to build the guardrails, the rules of the road, to make this new world actually safe and sustainable for the long haul.
For starters, the way companies pay for this stuff is totally changing. The old way of just paying a flat monthly fee for a license, that's going out the window. The new model is all about usage. It's more like pay as you go. Your cost is tied directly to how much AI you actually use, measured in something called tokens. So the price you pay actually matches the value you're getting.
So the answer isn't to just slam on the brakes and stop innovating. It's about building smarter. That means using new, advanced security tools that are constantly watching the AI's code. It means making sure senior, experienced developers are in charge of quality control, acting as the final gatekeepers. Heck, we're even starting to use AI to check other AI's work. The whole focus is shifting away from just raw speed and toward building platforms that give you control, that are reliable, and that keep the human expert in the loop.
And this is really the key takeaway. At the end of the day, the companies that win this war won't be the ones with the flashiest, most powerful AI. The winners will be the ones who figure out how to master that delicate dance between the incredible speed of a machine and the careful control of a human. The future here is absolutely a hybrid one. Which leaves us with the biggest question of them all, doesn't it? This goes way beyond just the tech. It really gets to the heart of what it means to create something and who's accountable in this new era. I mean, AI lets us build at the speed of thought, but who is responsible when the thought is wrong?